My family came to the event last night, and we were standing outside the gates, and when we heard the gunshots and a bunch of people, all of a sudden we just saw everybody turning towards us at the gate and running, screaming, crying, and bombarding us. And next thing I do is I turn around to grab my children to move them out of safety, to make them safe. And my one son was not there. He was whisked away with the crowd, and I could not find him for at least a half hour. During that time, I was talking to a bunch of the guards that were at the gate, trying to ask them hysterically as a mom, help me find my baby, please help me find my baby. You know, nobody is helping me. And I was completely scared. And a lady came up to one of the guards that I was talking to and said that a kid was behind us, shot and laying on the ground. And all I could think is my heart just dropped, and I was like, I can't find my child. Where is he? Is it my child that is lying on the ground with a gunshot wound? And I just said, is it a little white boy? You know, because that's all I could say. You know, and she said, no, it's not, but I still couldn't find him. And my husband went one way, I went another. I was grabbing onto my other child as hard as I could with his hand, because he was not going anywhere away from mommy. And he was crying, and we just couldn't find his brother. I think that the presence of law enforcement was not where it should have been. They obviously weren't prepared for that type of event. I don't know if it was the price, with it being the $5 admission, or what it was, but it brought out way too many people, and they should have shut it down a lot sooner than they actually did. I personally, my kids were terrified to come back today, but me and my husband sat down with them and said, we can't live in fear. You know, it was an isolated incident, so we can't not come to a place that we're supposed to be here to have fun as a family. We're not from the state, we just moved here. So we want to have fun with our kids, and I don't want my kids living in fear. I have gone to so many amusement parks, and I used to actually work at a concert venue, and we had bag checks. We had people with wands checking you, and they don't do any bag checks here. And to be quite honest, it's scary, because I mean, if they're going to get something in, they're going to figure out a way to get it in. But if they at least had some kind of safety checks, I think families, I mean, I know that it might cost a little bit more money to do something like that and put that into effect. But I personally, as a pass holder, would be willing to spend a little bit more to make sure my family is safe. I hugged my kids a lot tighter last night, and my son was snuggling up with me, and he had nightmares last night because of it, and he just ran with, you know, the crowd pushed him over and they picked him up, and he just ran, and we just couldn't find him. It seemed to me yesterday as a patron that none of the employees knew what they were supposed to be doing. I understand it's chaotic and panic ensues and stuff like that, but they need to have the training. They need to be able to know how to help their patrons stay safe. We were just sitting there talking. We knew we weren't going to be able to get in because they had already told us it was at tip capacity, so my kids didn't want to miss the fireworks. But another thing that scared the crap out of us is they went on with the fireworks. From what I was just told by one of the people here that work here is that the people weren't leaving over by the wave pool. They were just sitting there. They were not going to leave until the fireworks were done.
Wow.
They even, when them asking them everybody to leave, they weren't doing it. So they had to make that decision because they were going to cancel it, but nobody was leaving. I had asked several guards that were at the gate, you know, and then one of them specifically told me, they're too busy, they can't help you. And I had another mom that had actually messaged me and said that she had saw the whole situation. She's like, I couldn't believe that he had no care in the world. He was not going to help you, and you had a child that was missing. If it was me, I would have flipped. Make sure you don't live in fear, you know. Let your kids have fun. Make sure your kids are aware of what to do if a situation like that does happen. Because my kid was standing right next to me, and I turned around to grab him, literally to move him to safety, and he wasn't there. So anything can happen anywhere around the world. I mean, it happens every day, something. So just prepare your children. Make sure that they know how to get a hold of you, or what your name is, where, you know, go to somebody that can actually help you. Even though I personally wasn't getting help from anybody, I would hope that the adults would help other children.